Assalamu alaikum. My dear students, I am Murad Agriculture, Senior Lecturer, Department of Agriculture Studies, Milestone College. In this pandemic situation and critical situation, I know everybody are very tense. But pray Almighty Allah and stay home and stay safe. Let's start today's topic. Today's topic is for class 10 and chapter 1, section 1. And the section name is crop selection. And you can find this one in your textbook, page number 1 to 7. If you study this lecture and listen very carefully, after that you can able to got some point, which is you can understand the soil, you can understand the properties of soil, and then you can understand the aged different region. So start from the beginning. You have to understand what is soil. Soil is the first medium of crop production. Soil is the source of water and nutrient for crop production. And remember that not all type of crop can be produced in all crops, all soils. Different crops can be cultivated or can be produced in different type of soil. So what would be the definition of soil? According to the farmer's knowledge, from earth surface 15 to 18 centimeter, 15 to 18 centimeter is called soil. So we understand the definition of soil. And then next point is properties of soil. Today I will discuss some crops properties, which is rice crop properties, wheat crop properties, pulse, jute, potato and tomato. I told you before that not all type of crops can be cultivated in all type of soils. Different type of soils we can found or we know, which is loamy soil, clay soil, silt soil, and then sandy loam soil, clay loam soil. Remember that loamy soil is the best in all type of crop production. Scientists and everybody related to the agriculture told that loamy soil is the ideal soil for crop production. So let's talk about the properties of rice soil. Rice. What would be the rice soil properties? That means when you try to cultivate rice, that means what will be the soil? The pH of rice soil is acidic to neutral. But first of all, remember that what is acidic soil, what is a neutral soil, and what is alkaline soil. The pH range is 0 to 14 is called pH range, and the acidic soil is when 0 to 7 is called acidic, and then 7 to 14 is called alkaline soil, and neutral soil is 7. 7 is called neutral soil. So when you cultivate rice, that time you need acidic to neutral soil, and rice can be cultivated in clay soil, loamy soil, clay loam soil, silty loam soil as well, and that time the organic component will be need more high. Remember that rice can be cultivated in lowland and medium lowland as well, because rice like a water stagnant condition in the soil. That will be not any problem to produce rice. And when you provide a different type of fertilizer, inorganic and organic or chemical fertilizer in the field, that time we can fulfill the nitrogen demand of nutrient, we can fulfill the nutrient demand of phosphorus, zinc, etc. This is the properties of rice soil. Next, move on to the next one, which is wheat. What would be the properties of wheat soil? The pH of wheat soil is 6 to 7. Remember, wheat do not like water stagnant condition, and Wheat is Rabi season crop. And wheat we can cultivate it in medium, high and highland. Wheat do not like water. Then next point is pulse crop. What will be the pulse crops? Pulse crops pH is neutral or alkaline. That means the pulse soil pH will be neutral to alkaline. That means 7 and more than 7. It can be cultivated in loamy soil as well, silty loamy, salty loamy, but it cannot be cultivated in clay soil. That means where the water is stagnant condition, in that place pulse cannot be cultivated. Next is jute. What would be the characteristics of jute soil or properties of jute soil? Jute can be cultivated in silty soil and near the river region. And that means if we want to cultivate the jute, you can cultivate near the river side where the silty soil is available after the flood. Next is potato. Remember, potato do not like water stagnant condition. Little bit loosey, friable soil is good for potato cultivation. Then the pH will be 6 to 7. Next point is tomato. Tomato pH is nearly neutral. That means not more than 7. If it is more than 7, that will be alkaline. So it would need neutral soil. That means the pH will be 7. And the land little bit high and medium high land is good for tomato. Next is in our country, whole country divided into 30 AEZ, which is called, if you have a look on here, agro-ecological zone. That means here 30 agro-ecological zone in our country divided. Remember that this is important for MCQ. This 30 agro-ecological zone, scientists divided according to the nature of the soil in 5 types, which is number 1 is loamy and silt loam soil region. Next one is clay soil region. Next one is barren tract and Modhupur tract. And fourth one is hilly and peatmont region. And the last one is coastal region. And this 30 AEZ or agro-ecological zone divided into in this 5 region in our country. Let's talk about the first region, which is loamy and silty loam soil region. I told you before, loamy soil is the most ideal soil and most important and most favorable soil for all kind of crop production. And this pH level is 5.2 to 6.2 in this region. Always remember that in this region we are talking about the 5 region which is divided into 30 agricultural zone. And here in every region they divided some crop categories, which is one is rain-fed crop categories and the other one is irrigated crop categories. In this type of crop categories divided into 5 region as well. So if you go to 5 region, you can find this type of categories. So what is rain-fed crops? Rain-fed crops means farmers produce crops depends on rainfall. That crop is called rain-fed crops. And when farmers produce crops depends on irrigation, that is called irrigated crops. So remember that what is rain-fed crops and what is irrigated crops. Rain-fed crops means when they need the farmers produce crops depends on rainfall, and irrigated means when farmers produce crops depends on irrigation, that is called irrigated crops. So first one is loamy and silt loam soil. That means this region soil is loamy and little bit silty loamy soil, and organic matter is little bit moderate. And here rain-fed crops is Rabi. Remember that in our country context, all the year they divided 3 crop season, which is Rabi season, Kharif season 1 and Kharif season 2. This is the cropping season of our country. Rabi season is the winter crop, remember that, and Kharif 2 season is the then one is summer season, is Kharif 1 little bit summer, and that one is proper summer is Kharif 2 season. And what will be the crop? In Lumi and Siltrum region, rain-fed crop is Rabi season wheat, Kharif 1 season jute, and Kharif 2 season almond. And irrigated crop is Kharif season Boro rice, Kharif 2 1 season Aus rice, transplanted Aus, and Kharif 2 is transplanted Amur rice, which is local variety of rice. So this is the cropping pattern or crop quality of Lumi and Siltidium soil region. And like this, next region is as well divided into this rain-fed crop and irrigated crops. Now let's talk about the clay soil region. What will be the clay soil region? In this region, clay soil means the water content is more in this is soil, and organic matter is little bit more. Maximum type of aush can be, maximum type of rice can be cultivated in clay soil region, because we know that clay rice can produce in water stagnant condition, and clay soil can hold maximum water. That is why rice can be cultivated more in this region. So in this region, rain-fed crop and irrigated crop both are rice. Remember that. Next point is Barren tract and Modhubut tract. Barren and Modhubut tract soil is land is little bit plain and highland, and in this region two types of crops like rain-fed crops and irrigated crops as well. So rain-fed crop in Rabi season on lentil, wheat, sugarcane, this type of crop can be cultivated. Kharif 1 season is jute. Next one is Kharif 2 season is transplanted among local variety, and irrigated soil is Boro rice, different type of tomato. Then Kharif 2 season and transplanted among which is local variety. This is called Barren tract and Modhubut tract season. Next one is hilly and Piedmont region. This region located in Khagasari, Rangamati, Bandhavon, this area, and here soil pH is little bit acidic in this region, and we sometimes we call this region as tridal land because this is hill tracts area. And in here rain-fed crops would be Rabi season would be wheat, then sugarcane, lentil, mustard, this type of crops. And Kharif 1 season we can cultivate a jute, something like that, and Kharif 2 season we can cultivate transplant rice, local variety. Even in irrigated crop will be Rabi season will be lentil, then mustard, this type of crops, and Kharif 1 season Aus rice, and Kharif 2 season will be the transplanted Aus, which is local variety. Last one is coastal region. What would be the coastal region? In our country, the location of coastal region is the Coxbazar, Feni, Noakhali, that means the coastal belt. This is called the coastal region. And in this region, if you have a look, in this region, soil pH will be little bit alkaline or more than neutral, not acidic. And in this region, we can cultivate in rain-fed or irrigated both crops, and rain-fed will be mustard, then wheat, this type of. Kharif 1 will be jute, sugarcane, and Kharif 2 will be transplanted almond rice. And even in irrigated crops, in here we can cultivate it in sugarcane, mustard, this type of crops. And even in Kharif 2 season, almond transplanted almond rice. So this is the description about the 5 region. This one is very important. This one is very important. And this one is the properties as well is very important. And remember that if I give you some example like MCQ and CQ, first talk about the MCQ. MCQ in this section, page number 1 to 7 is lots of MCQ. every time I told you that when you study your section, that time you have to underline each and every line, because this is your textbook, so you never know where the MCQ come from. So you have to memorize all the important line. So you have to memorize this page from 1 to 7 for MCQ. Some example of MCQ is how many types of AZ in our country. That means 30 AZ in our country, which is agro-ecological zone, or something like that. What is the full form of AEZ, which is agro-ecological zone? And in this agro-ecological zone, how many types they divided the region, which is 5 types: Lumian, Siltlume region, clay soil region, marine tract region, hill tract region, coastal region. This is the example of MCQ. And sometimes in your CQ as well, they give you this type of description, or PQ some important information in the system. For example, Mr. Rohim visited in his friend's house, which is situated in Bandarbon area. So that means if they mentioned or informed or give you the clue like Bandarbon area, that means in this region we can find only this tract. That means hilly and peatbone region is situated in Bandarbon hill tracts. So you have to explain this region. So this is the example of CQ question. So this is the lecture today, which is chapter 1, section 1, and crop selection. And you have to, I told you again, you have to study very carefully each and every line for your MCQ questions, which is page number 1 to 7. Thank you very much.